So this is a stealth module install on a 2022 GMC 1500 with a 3.0 Duramax. So the first step, we're going to start by pulling this cover off and make a little bit of room so that we can get back to that map sensor as well. So that's a 10 millimeter bolt right here. And then just remove the oil cap and put this back on so nothing drops in there. So the fuel pressure sensor, that one's fairly easy to get to. It's right here. And it's just a matter of sliding this locking tab back, then pushing down and pulling out. Simple as that. And then you take the module, and you plug it in line. Make sure you grab the one that's marked fuel. And you can start by plugging that one into where the sensor, and you take the other end, you plug it into there. So that one's simple, pretty straightforward. This is the same connector that you're going to be using to get the map sensor undone, so you could practice up here with this fuel pressure one. You slide this back, you push that release in, and it should pull right out. And if you have any trouble, you can always get in here with like a pick or something, but you really want to try to avoid that. So the process is you slide this connector back, and you push down on that to release, and the opposite to install. So now moving back to this other connector, it is buried down below some of this piping. So what I've found is it's best to remove this intake piping. This can be done with a 7 millimeter socket or a flathead screwdriver. Okay, and then there's three bolts down there. This one's 5/16. So we'll just remove the top of the intake piping, the air filter box. Then slide this red locking tab back. So on this one, slide that red locking tab back, and then you actually push on the black clip right behind it. And that's how you get it out. Okay, so this is optional. Some people might not find this necessary, but you can pull this off, and we're gonna do it just so you can get a better view. So it's one 10 millimeter bolt, and these other things just slide right on. So with that out of the way, you should be able to see that connector down there, and you'll recognize it as the same thing as a fuel pressure sensor connector. Okay, so you're gonna want to get in there and pull that white tab out, and just like the connector up front, there you go. Get in there, clip one end into the, make sure you grab the map harness. One end goes into the sensor, one end goes into the connector that came out of it. Okay, so one end plugs in there. Take the other end, plug it into our harness. Okay, so can you see those? All right, now you just put everything back together. Should be just a matter of putting this coolant reservoir on, slide it on those bolts. You get 10mm goes back in. Once you get everything installed, you're gonna want to take the module, and there's a nice little compartment over here, right next to the air box, where you can just tuck this in, and it'll sit nice and secure. You keep it away from the coolant reservoir, but tight over in this area. Then you take the switch, plug it in here. White connector there, make sure it's secure and all the way in. No switch, it will be in the stock setting, so you want to make sure that actually stays plugged in. And then it goes from left to right. It starts in stock, low, medium, high. So as you turn it clockwise, it's a higher setting. So you can tuck that right in next to it, or you could run it up through the firewall and mount it on your dash. Majority of people just leave it underneath the hood. Alright, so that's an install on a 3.0 Duramax. Good to go.